All right. Hi, everyone. Elizabeth Hefner. Um, Freezing. I have my hand warmer on in my office because I'm so cold and just praying that it gives us a snow day tomorrow with the cold. But we're like right on the edge of it not being cold enough. So we'll see. Chapter 4 of The Sales Game by Daniel G. And I hope that I have a comprehensive um, input to give because I still don't have my printed copy that did not come yet. And I printed this whole book from the PDF. And I don't know. I just don't even know if it has as many pages as the real book or whatever. So we're just going to go with it. But chapter 4, like really interesting. I love his insights into the brain of the buyer, of to really just understanding how we think. I loved the reference to What Women Want, that Mel Gibson movie. And he was like, we were like grown when that movie came out, right? Like I think I was like married. So I was like early mid 20s and he was like this 15-year-old kid and he was like, I don't care what women think, but wouldn't it be great if I could hear what all these prospects are thinking? And so he loved that idea and just then that was another like tick in his brain of like, let me make this my next goal of figuring out. And I love that. And I think that we need to give ourselves credit in whatever area that we are in. Like, you can look at your kids and go, I know what you're thinking. Like, I can look at my Sam trying to puzzle together something and go, Sam, you want to stick that PVC pipe in there and do this and da da da, don't you? And he's like, yeah, I do. I don't need Sam to tell me. I can see what he's observing. I can see what he's thinking about. I can see what he's looking at and go, okay, this is what you're thinking, or I'm pretty close, right? Um, a bunch of us on my team are therapists, PTs, and OTs, and we like through that process of learning the job and working with people, like we've learned like okay, you might be, oh, I imagine you're pretty nervous about getting out of bed the first time with tubes and wires and casts and things poking out of your body and just having gone through an injury and surgery. Oh, yeah, I am, which I mean, that's pretty obvious. But when I was a new grad, I was like, okay, this is what I'm supposed to do with you. Let's get up. It wasn't like, let me acknowledge what they're going through. Let me help them name their feelings and stuff too, right? And I think we learn that with like little kids, like, let me help name those feelings so they can grasp that. And so we can use that even in this sales realm. And it just comes with practice. I really love that he's like, there is no like magic potion, there is no magic message, there is no magic like personality profiling. None of it is like magic. It is just really understanding, listening, and watching for cues. Um, that there is no just, I'm going to master the human equation. Like that doesn't exist, but learning people and learning prospecting, that is how you're gonna master this. Um, I think too, just thinking like, how do we get sold? What is it that, and I'm a pretty tough sell. Like we have Bloomingdale's, what, $2,000, and I did one impulse buy of perfume. I'm like, yep, I want that. And actually, honestly, like to be completely honest, I have this huge bottle of perfume. I've used this much in like 3 years. It's not my favorite scent. Like I do like it. I do enjoy it, but I kind of wish I would have like tried other ones, right? Impulse buy. And then I regret it. So now what I do, I'm like, I don't impulse buy because it wasn't this awesome experience for me. But thinking about how we get sold, we we just recently bought a new second car besides our Lexus, and that was a pretty easy sale because my husband had done a lot of the research. Like, I know what I want in a car. I have these things that are a must. I'm probably like my husband can just go and look at cars and research and go, this is what she'll like, this is what she won't like, or whatever. He just knows what I'm looking for in those particular things. But how is it that we're marketed to, spoken to, promoted to? Like, what is it? What are those experiences like that we have? And when is it that we click that button to say yes? And so, even just observing ourselves, like how that works for us. I like that he talks about the four things that shape us into how we are communicated to, right? Like, um, that way we're not guessing, we're not wasting effort, we're not having to just like trial and error. You have these clues. So using those clues and cues to figure out what their personality is and then figuring out where they're at. Are they, in that closed? Are they more open? Are they really too quick to say yes? Like, where are they? And how can you still kind of not in a weird way, but sway the conversation and sway that decision making. If you assume everyone is an introvert and then you're like approaching everyone, I'm not an introvert, right? Like I'm not an introvert. If you approach me like an introvert, I'll be like, I don't have time for this. Like moving on, you know? Um, and so just keeping those things in mind. And then I thought this, I did not ever think about it this way, but like this mutual happiness. So I'm selling to you, but that's just going to make you happy. This is going to bring happiness to you. And in turn, it makes me happy. But really, if I focus on, and we say this, we've said this before, this isn't new, but if we focus on helping our prospects get signed up and get happy, and then helping them be successful on the products, then if we just focus on people being successful with their products, with their sharing, with their business, then we become the millionaire, right? Because we're focused on others. And I think that's just, it's biblical. I think it's so true. Like, you know, in our jobs, if PT, if I in healthcare, if we could truly focus on the patients and helping them get results and get healing and get better, healthcare would be a totally different ballgame right now. Where's Tova? I need to see her face. I don't see you on the little strip over here. Versus healthcare focusing on money, bottom line, repeat customers, insurance reimbursement. How can I haven't worked in the hospital in several years, but when I was exiting out of the hospital, the computer system became a very billing driven system that took us as practitioners a lot of time to use. And it was because then the hospital didn't have to pay billers. The system, as you're doing your patient care and therapies and surgeries and pharmacy and all that, was automatically being billed. And it then put us in front of computers more and nurses, especially in front of computers more, and took them away from the patients. Healthcare would be healthcare if we actually focused on wellness and patients and helping them get healthy. My husband is in some medical stuff right now, and he brought home these like Xerox copies of information that were like crooked and blurry. Like they've been copied for like 10 years or something. I am like, do better. Find your originals, print some crap off online, retype it into Word, at least make this look like we can actually read it. I thought it was horrendous. Like, I'm like, this is actually frightening that this is what you send home in the day and age where we are like so visual and we're always being trapped with visual stimuli and all of that, right? But anyway, that's apparently my soapbox today that I had to share with you. So, increasing that happiness, traded happiness is mutual profit. I just really hadn't thought about it like that. So, moving on. I like how he talks about just every piece of clothing you bought, every business you've started, program you've purchased, every bite of food that you've had, whether you've liked it or not, it's aided to your happiness, right? So, like, I don't love to have to eat 6,000 grams of protein a day, but in turn, I know it's making me happier because of the results that I see and that I get, right? I don't love Restore, to be completely honest, but I just drink it really fast because I know it's good for me and I like the results that I get when I take it consistently, right? So, um, sorry, let's look at my notes here. Um, I already mentioned this, like focusing on strangers' happiness, that is going to make us the millionaires. Um, This is interesting. I'm sure that this has happened to anyone that's been doing this business for any length of time, is that like occasionally there can be that one-sided deal where you kind of push and pressure and get somebody to sign up and then they order one time, they turn their sub off, they quit talking to you. It was could pretend. I mean, not always. Sometimes that happens even in people that you have not one-sided, but there can be that time where you really do push and you're trying to get the sale and you're trying to hit the goal and you're trying to get the trip and the shopping spree and the things, and then it isn't necessarily all about them. And so really keeping that like, don't do that. Like, we are trying not to do that. And it's okay to be honest with people. Hey, I have this huge goal. If I get six more orders, I'm going to earn this really great prize. Like, I'd really love your support and help in this. Like, that's one thing, right? You're not doing that every day, but at least you're upfront. Like, this is going to help me meet a goal, right? Be upfront about it. And then it's not so weird. Um, the mastering happiness, so amateurs, professionals, and then world class. And I think then it also ties right into this, like how we're complimenting people and how we're pouring into people. You can be really surfacey, you can be a little bit deeper, and then you can really pay attention and pour into them and point out the good and say, this is what I noticed. And you really did a great job with this, you know. Um, and then that happiness, it flows for years and years. So I've been on these products for like 10 years. Yeah, 10 years in December. Amazing, right? I feel like it was yesterday. And I really, when Jackie and I, we talk about this frequently, like, where would we be if we hadn't found these products? I'd be on a bunch of meds and crippled up. I don't know. And so just looking at how this opportunity, the products have affected for years and years. So anyway, he does break that down. I'm not gonna like go into every little detail here because I don't even know what time it is. I don't want to do all the talking, but just that human needs, that deepest level of connection really is going deeper. That it's really figuring out that what is it that they're looking for, and then that we, as they're going through these states of readiness to buy, that we're adapting, that we're a chameleon, and that we're changing and adapting with them. And I think that's where like Fallon has never given us like scripts. Do this, do this, do this, do this. She's like, help people be successful in their products, add them to the groups, get them to share with three people. Like that's the system, right? And that language is gonna look different for everyone. Even when I formulate a message for like, okay, I want to invite people to a messenger party and I type something up and then I put it into the Susie and then I'm still changing it and editing it and making sure that it's appropriate for her. And then I go to somebody else and I'm still changing it, even though I'm using kind of this framework, um, just really being more personal. Um, I think we've all had those people like overly excited. I think we attract that when we post stuff like, I'm looking for six people to try my pink drink for free with a water bottle and a da da da. And it's like the just typed with the black background or whatever. Not saying we shouldn't do that because that can stimulate a lot of conversation. But you have people saying, yes, me, okay, okay. Or the last person to say happy before I say New Year, you get a whatever. Not that that doesn't have its place, but what I have noticed is when we're doing that, you're getting these overly excited, quick people, and then when you do take a step back, um, they like quit talking to you. Like I thought I was getting $200 of product for free, right? However, he actually addresses that too, where he says, okay, perfect. Like I'll get you that information in 2 seconds. But by the way, can I ask you a couple quick questions so that I can get you the best price for your service that suits you? They say, yeah, go ahead. Now you're back in that conversation. So handling those snappy posts that get a lot of attraction and a lot of comments, handling them in such a way that you're getting the yes and that you're getting the buyer versus just that happy, quick buyer who says sure and then they ghost you or whatever. Um, then it was really true. I told you I was a tough sale, right? I totally am, still am, but when I saw a lot of Plexus posts coming up and seeing like, oh, wait, well, this is getting my attention. There's something different about these. And then a really, really good friend from high school at the exact same time that I kind of was seeing Plexus was doing Advocare or something like that, like Spark, the Spark drink. And I was like, well, she's wicked smart. Like she was like valedictorian 4 point, super high ACT. I'm like, if she's doing this stuff, there must be something to it. Let me look into that third party validation right there, right? And I started reading ingredients. I was like, oh, I'm not interested in these ingredients. But Plexus, look at the website. I'm like, oh, I like these ingredients. So when you see enough and you're exposed enough, that can change things too for people. But this is what you're seeing. They're asking real questions, not just price, not just these quick responses, not just a thumbs up or a heart to something, but they're actually responding back, focusing on how that solution can work for them. I asked so many questions. Are you sure this is going to work for me? My RA is pretty bad. I'm pretty miserable. I hurt all the time. And really just wanting that information. And it doesn't mean that I didn't then pull back and go, oh, I don't know if I should do this because I did that too, and then came back around. So, um, they just people just really want to know like how is this going to help me? How is this going to help me? I don't care how it helps Susie. I don't care how it helps Joe Blow. I want to know if it's going to help me. And then seeing those results in similar because no two people are exactly the same. And then just like letting people know I'm here to support you as you get started on your products. Like I'm going to help you be successful and get the most out of your investment too. So anyway, those were kind of the things that stood out to me. Hopefully, I don't didn't leave out something crazy because I don't have it, but would love to hear what you guys are thinking as well.
So, since you don't have the book, I'm going to say you definitely got to get it, Elizabeth. I hope it arrives in the next 6 months. Bless your heart, doing a call without the book. But I loved on page 118. Didn't you guys, those of you with the book, love these charts? The resistant state, the overly excited buyer, and then where he talks about just show me the price objection. And he's kind of sassy. He's like, oh, that's refreshing, Sarah. You're telling me I don't need to spend 45 minutes telling you about our company history, blah, 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 blah. Like you just want the price and you're ready to go. I like that, like taking the bull by the horns and just being like, okay, you want the price? That means you're ready to go. Let's go with this. And I kind of like how he calls it like the game, because that is kind of what it feels like when I handle objections. I just said this on coaching tonight. I'm like, it does feel like this game. Um, and then he he just says everything so differently, but how to spot someone if they're in between state 2 and 3. I was like thinking about myself, like, okay, what state am I in sometimes? Am I in the resistant state or the ready state? So I love that chart at the end of the chapter. And then it was somewhere else too. Oh, he starts talking about it on page 113. Someone who's overly excited. I know we've all had this type of person, the one that is like, oh yeah, I'm ready to go. Okay, yep, send me the link. And then like, where the heck do they go? I've never seen anybody address that except he is talking about it. So I thought that was really, really good. And then I love how he tells you like how to handle it. So thought it was good.
Definitely. And I really like I don't know, I feel like we've kind of always had this when somebody's like, I'm ready, give me the price, give me the link, then they ghost you. And I think that comes back to of like getting people on the phone and helping them sign up because then you are like, hey, okay, if you're ready, like, when can we get on the phone? Like, are you free in 10 minutes? Are you free at 4:30? Whatever. You're getting them on the phone versus, oh, okay, let me send you the link. And then it's just sitting there and it's not confirmed. It's just lingering. So old school, old school, like, okay, let's get on the phone. I'll walk you through it, I think was really, really beneficial too.
I love where he talked about just mastering happiness and figuring out what is going to make your potentials happy. I think this is kind of goes along with knowing your audience and having your brand and who you're talking to. Like if you're talking to moms, you should be posting about like maybe their pain point that they don't want to leave their kids and have to work. Like they could totally do this from home type thing. So I really love that. And then his point, which I have his whatever sales program, and he mentioned this on there too, but um, basically complimenting someone's not looks, not things they have looks, but more their character. I love that because most people aren't used to hearing that. Like if you see someone with nice hair, I mean, they probably hear it all the time, like, "Oh, you have such nice hair," whatever. But if you're complimenting how someone's so patient with their kids or creative, whatever, um, much better.
Well, that is true. I will say, if people know that you're a hair expert, Courtney, like you told me when you got on and you typed in the chat, I love your hair. Like actually me, I'm like, oh, well, thank you. I just didn't type it. Couldn't type it, but I was gonna message you after. Like, thank you for the compliment. I appreciate that because coming from you, you are a hair expert. I'm like, ooh, high praise. Like, not not that that's all everything, but I think too, when you look at the expert of the person complimenting, hopefully that stands out to people as well. So don't totally discount yourself because you're like, oh, that wasn't deep enough of a compliment. You can still compliment people. There's like never this time of like, nope, compliments are done for the day. Don't ever give one again. So
I thought it was really interesting about looking back at your own purchases. I've done this a little, but I really slowed down and did it more for this and thought about I'm definitely a consumer and I love buying things, but I'm also like you, Elizabeth, where I don't want to like, whatever, not make a good investment that I haven't researched. And when I'm ready to go somewhere, I did it to a lady in the mall the other day, and Nora and I were getting something I wanted to get in and out, and she was like coming towards me with perfume, and I'm like, nope, nope, not interested. But like I wear perfume and I buy perfume. So obviously the context really matters and I'm gonna try to keep this at the forefront of my mind with the way people respond to us. Like really it doesn't matter. It's really not about us 99.999% of the time. They're annoyed, hungry, distracted, like whatever. It doesn't mean in an hour they won't want to get it. Like how many times have you been on Instagram and like later gone back and bought it? Like, so we need to take things less personal.
that's so true. So true. We're like the same person, Tova. I'm not as organized as you, but a lot the same. And I mean, I have free money. I still have Bloomingdale's money. I still have it because I'm like, I'm not going to waste this. I'm going to be very intentional with how I spend it. I'm like a secret purchaser. Like I get on Amazon and like, ooh, ooh. Or like, you see, I follow a couple people on Instagram, just two, only two, because I have to have limits. And they post these deals. And I add all kinds of stuff to my cart. All kinds of stuff, you guys. Like probably 30 grand of stuff in my saved for later at this point. And it just purchases are just something different. And Lord, I was not that hard of a sale with Plexus. I really wasn't because I saw the value. I saw what it was doing. And that, gosh, just like you said, like looking where if we saw these people, like the girls, we probably could be influenced, Tova, by the perfume. Like, oh, you try it. No, oh, look, this one. Oh, and like a couple of shoppers being super excited about it, and like the salesperson just like floating in and out. We probably be like, oh, I want to come back to that. We might not even go then, but we're like influenced by that interaction, I think, right?
Right.
So,
Or if she had said like, "Oh, this doesn't have all the toxins other perfumes have," I would have been like, "What?"
yeah,
Like, so,
yeah.
but that is valuable for me and brings me happiness. So that looking for that little thing that would make somebody pivot.
And kids. I will say that. Like, if anyone is like, we will do anything for our kids. You bring up this would be great for your kid for her running. This would be great for your son's basketball. I am like, what? I'm gonna at least listen to them. And I probably am one of those people like he talks about, like I'm like, oh, and tell me about this and tell me, like ask all the questions and da 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 and be like, okay, I'll think about it. Bye. And leave. So again, when people are doing that with Plexus, they just need to let it sink in and settle and know that this can work for them and take that step back.
Well, we've always said, and I think I heard it from Celeste, that they will all buy eventually. Like if they're even slightly interested or even talking to you about it for a minute, and if they don't buy from you, they're going to buy something from somebody. They're in the market for something. So continuing to follow up and continue to post things that are targeted towards them is really important.
I guess we've heard different calls and diamonds and like think of your personal avatar that this is the only person that you're talking to. And I'm like, no, like these products are for dads and moms and kids and working people and not work, like everyone needs this and everyone needs this business. And so it's like, no, if we really are a little honed in and more strategic in our posting, like Courtney was saying, like you want to talk to the moms about them being able to stay home with their kids. I do feel like there is value in that. Like not that I didn't put those things into practice, but I was a little skeptical because I'm like, no, these are good for everyone. This business is for everyone.
Everyone pretty much touched on all my favorite parts, actually. But I will point out that I do like that he switched the word for mood, and then I started inserting mood everywhere, because it's really true. Like your mood could change in like when he was giving the example about an introvert, like he might pose as one, but he's really not one, and then you start talking to them like they're one. It was just like his mood in the moment. So I like that, and I liked when he brought up like don't talk to people like picture, like this, like a sleazy guy coming up to you with like a one-liner. That just made me laugh because sometimes I get messaged by, other people doing network marketing, and it really does like come off like that. And I don't ever like when people don't answer me. So I at least like to answer them and just be upfront, like, thank you so much. I'm happy with what I'm doing. I wish you the best type of thing. But like it does come off like that. Like, wow, it sounds like a pickup line. Like instead of you genuinely looking to connect and befriend me in some sort of way. And then, like Tova was saying, that was a big one for me, like thinking about the way I consume, what makes me buy, what's made me have sales resistance. Like he gave the example of walking to the store and right away somebody comes up to you like, do you need help with anything? And you're just like, no, I'm just looking. Like we all have that line like ready. And we've kind of gotten that in a sense from, potential customers like, no, I'm good. I'm good right now. I've gotten that a lot. Like, oh, thanks so much. I'm good right now. Like that's kind of like the similar line, right? Like, no, I'm just looking. I'm good. Um, but anyway, I really like that he pointed out the mood and to just really connect more. And I think like he even pointed out, like they're not buying the product, like they're going to buy you at the end of the day and just the whole theme of happiness. So like I said, you guys pretty much hit on it all, but I did really like this chapter. It was so good.
Yeah, definitely good points there. And Courtney, when you led 2 weeks ago, I think, right? You were like bringing up that whatever kind of mood we're in when we're messaging and sending, because that's what he was talking about that, and you pointed it out very well. And I have like three teenagers, a preteen, a job, a husband. Like I'm not always in a good mood. I'm just gonna say it. And that is when I'm like, okay, I'm gonna read my Bible first, and I'm gonna like send, I will send messages, but I'm like selective in which kind I'm sending. Like I'm checking in with people and like, different things because I don't want my mood to like flow over to them. I don't want that to come through. And so just being aware of that and then doing things intentionally to make sure we aren't in a weird mood when we are talking to those people that we really want to get like going. I have this like friend that I met in a running coaches group, and I'm like, I am just gonna talk to her like she is a friend, and we do have a lot in common, a lot of kids, and like I just have been talking to her, talking to her, talking to her. And sometimes she'll leave me like huge messages, which is awesome. But I'm like, I just don't have the brain power for this at this moment. And so I just wait until I do so I can give her that attention, right? It's like your kids. When all four of them are talking at the same time, that never happens in my house. It's like two or three talking at the same time. And I'm like, I really want to hear what you're saying, but I can't focus on it right now with these other things. Let me do this first, and then you have my undivided attention, right? Like I think it's okay to to do that, to be aware of where we're at and to not come up with some cheesy pickup line.
So like Kristen was saying, everybody pretty much hit on the things that I was gonna say, but it really struck home when you're like, the sleazy salesman or something. Like when I walk into BJ's and I know the cell phone people are coming at me, I'm like, for the love. Like I don't even like let them get a single like breath out, and I'm like, don't talk to me. I have to like get out of here. But I did really, really take into consideration like what he was talking about in the scenarios, because sometimes it does make you feel a certain way. I'm like, now sitting here and like after reading that, I'm like, I wonder how they actually feel, because I can sometimes literally put my hand up, like, do not talk to me. Like I have things going on right now. And I'm like, man, if anybody ever did that to me, like with Plexus, like how would that make me feel? So not that I'm gonna buy cell phone service from BJ's or anything, but it does bring to my awareness now. I also thought if they have a really pretty setup, or if it's something like easy on the eyes or something that really catches my attention, I'm there. Like I'm looking to see what do they have, what is going on over there. So I feel like it's a lot in your setup, the way that you promote yourself, the way that you interact with people, but the way that you're dressed. Like, do you look like something or some person that, you want to look like, or you want them to want to look like? So it really does have to do with a lot of like aesthetics and just posture in the end, but also just knowing how to respond to certain situations. It kind of makes me feel like, okay, I'm not alone, which we know, but sometimes you feel like you're alone in certain situations. Price objections, how to overcome that, how to actually, he talks to you about how like you should feel about it. Like, and just like that, you're back in the conversation, realizing, okay, I'm back in the conversation. I'm not losing this one. It just redirects your brain in a really positive light. And I love his energy because you can feel it through his words, which is also really hard to portray when you're writing a book, but you can actually feel his excitement through how he writes and how he speaks to um yeah, each chapter. So that was just my intake.
I love it. I definitely think it's that dance, right? Like my favorite, not my favorite, I'm being sarcastic, is when somebody comes to me and they're like, hey, I think I really need this stuff. I think it could really help me. I'm like, okay, great. And I like literally take a step back because it's like that overly eager. Then I'm overly eager because they're like, I'm ready. I think I could use this. So I'm like, oh yeah, tell me what you're struggling with so I can, help you. I'm sorry that you're not feeling your best. Can you tell me more about it? Right. And then there's like a minimal conversation and then ghost, 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 ghost. So then I'm like, hey, like, I'm sure you're busy. I'm sure something came up. And I can see that they've read the messages, right? Like, oh, you must have gotten busy. I like that happens all the time, trying to be really like understanding. Like I can see how you forgot to respond back to me. I don't say that exactly, but putting the yourself. And then it's like, hey, like I don't know if you're still wanting to talk about this, but there is this great sale. You can get a free reset if you're interested. And then this girl, like this particular one, like comes back, blows up at me. I'm doing this and I'm getting a divorce and my husband's this, like this whole like blow up situation. And I'm like, okay, clearly this is not directed at me. Like obviously there's a lot going on because I was even like, and it's like my dog died and my this. I'm like, I go to her wall and because I would check, like, did something happen before I'm like, hey, what about Plexus? And then you're like, okay, this totally is not about me. Clearly not a good time. Come back with a lot of empathy. I'm really sorry. I had no idea. I'm really sorry. I had no idea. I'll be thinking of you through the situation. I'm always here if you change your mind, like anything I can do, let me know, whatever, like, oh my gosh. And then you feel like crap. Like, what did I do? You told me you were interested. Like you said, I need this stuff. I see you posting about it. And then you're like, and it's just dealing with people. I mean, same thing probably happened to me in healthcare thousands of times, and I went home and went to bed. It didn't like affect me at all. Maybe it did the first like 5 years of my career, but then after that, you're like, meh, it's fine. They're just hurting. They're this, they're that. Like there's these other situations happening, influencing this attitude. All right. Anybody else? I don't want to like call names or something, but all right. And the record.